We'll take our viewers now live to the National Press Club, where Bill Shorten is just being introduced.
But has transformed the lives of many. Now, more than a decade on, it is set for a transformation of its own. To discuss where the NDIS goes next, please welcome Bill Shorten to the podium.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Laura. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the Canberra region, the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri people, and pay my respects to their elders and to any other elders with us today. And I'd like to take this opportunity to speak directly to Australia's First Nations peoples in the aftermath of the Voice referendum. What I want to say is this: you are not alone. The long walk to reconciliation is not over. Millions of Australians have walked, are walking, and keep walking beside you until we reach reconciliation and complete our country. Now, the last time that I was here was April the 18th. Back then, the independent NDIS review was about halfway through its 12-month assessment of the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Today, we've released the independent report of the NDIS review, and I'm here to talk to Australians with disability and their families in particular, and the Australian people generally, about its important recommendations. Just a note, I won't be talking directly about the Disability Royal Commission. My colleague Amanda Rishworth is the ministerial lead, and for which the government is still receiving public responses on that landmark report. But returning to April, people were then anxious about the future of the NDIS. And people are still anxious. I respect and feel that anxiety, because no one wants to go back to the days of the misery Olympics when Australians were at the mercy of a broken system. No one wants to go back to the days when Australians with disability were forced to rely on charity to fundraise for wheelchairs or a place to live. No one wants to go back to that midnight anxiety faced by the 80-year-old parents, carers, as they do the dishes at the end of a long day, wondering who will look after their disabled son or daughter when they no longer can. So let me be clear. Australia is never going back to the bad old days. But we most certainly need to find a way forward together. The states and the Commonwealth, including the federal opposition. We all have a common interest and a shared responsibility to secure a lasting and constructive outcome for our citizens. We need each other. We cannot dance alone. The Australian people expect nothing less from us. Those community expectations remind me of something the late Bill Hayden wrote. He said Australians feel uncomfortable with extended public conflict and expect reasonable people to work out compromises. They tend to reject people they see as rigidly clinging to a point of view. It is therefore imperative to respond to seemingly reasonable offers. In other words, Australians are a practical people who just expect governments to get stuff done. More importantly, Australians with disability, their families and carers, they need us to fix the NDIS.